Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and wear test on the brand new Glowish Luminous powder by Huda Beauty. I was so intrigued by this powder, so I wanted to sit down and put this to the test for you guys today on camera. So if you guys want to continue watching and see me transform my face, then please go ahead and do so. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new to my channel, and also hit that post notification bell so you never miss my videos. I always bring you guys the latest in the beauty community. So let's just go ahead and get right into this review and wear test. This was super unique when I started to see the promos for it, just because of the fact that they were using it with like a damp sponge to apply it, and the pigment looked phenomenal. If you go on Instagram on Huda Beauty's page, you can definitely see that, but I was like, wait, I need to go ahead and try this. So I'm really excited to put this to the test. So this one I did pick up in the shade medium. I just picked it up yesterday from my local Sephora. You can find this on Huda Beauty's website and also on Sephora's website and also in Sephora stores. So I picked this up in the shade 5, and I want to quickly talk about some of the things that this claims to do. This does retail for $33. It's a pressed powder formula. It's fragrance free, it's cruelty free, it's a natural finish, and it is vegan. It contains Damascus rose oil, which soothes, clarifies, and locks in extreme moisture, vitamin E to prevent skin damage and moisturize the skin, red bell pepper extract, which acts as a shield against digital pollution, which can cause visible aging and dark spots. So I've seen that red pepper bell extract in several other products as a highlighted ingredient. And like I said, because of the fact that it acts as a shield against digital pollution. So that's pretty cool. And it is supposed to be transfer proof. And like I said, the way they suggest applying this is for a full coverage, apply with a damp sponge. For a light or medium coverage, apply with a fluffy brush. So we're gonna be putting this into, I actually already played with it last night when I first got it, because I was super excited, but I'm excited to really dive deep into this right now. Okay, so I already went ahead and did my concealer, because you guys know that when you do work with powder, it's always important to apply the concealer first and then move on to the powder. So for concealer, I used one of my favorite concealers at the moment, which is the Kosas concealer. This is such a great concealer if you are looking for something hydrating, lightweight, and if you do crease a lot, this is fantastic. I wear this in the shade 6. I also set my under eyes with my Maybelline Lasting Fix, and now we can move on to the product. So I'm gonna be using my sponge to apply this, just because I do want more so of that full coverage finish. On this side, we can use a brush to kind of see how it does, but I'm curious about this because I've seen this everywhere. Everybody's been posting them swirling it with a damp sponge and then swiping it on the face, and it looks so pigmented. So we're gonna take the powder and we're going to just swirl it around. And that's what it looks like. And then we're gonna press it. Ooh. Okay, that was pigment. That was definitely pigment. And I'm just going to blend this all out. It's applying really nicely with the sponge. I do have to say one thing about this powder, and that is that, I don't know what it is, but I feel like with the Glowish complexion products they've come out, they tend to be a little bit darker than you think. So I would go a shade down, and it's funny because typically I feel like I would be shade 6, which is the next shade up. But I felt like, because of my experiences with the Glowish tinted moisturizer, it was a little too dark for me. So that's why I went with shade 5. But you guys can see that it definitely looks a little bit darker, or like I have a tan, than what I would think. So I don't know if anybody else has had issues with that, just like having to go a shade down, just because I do feel like the shades are a little darker than what you would think they are. So you guys can kind of see the difference. And I will have my shade references down below in case you guys are curious, so that you guys can see what you are. But like I said, first impressions, I would definitely go a shade down. Even this 5 is not typically my shade. Usually my shade is 6 in the Glowish products. But after my experience with the tinted moisturizer, I do feel like they do kind of run a little deeper. So that's why I went a shade down. I could honestly probably even go to like a shade 4, and I think it would be good, because I do feel like in certain spots you can kind of see like there's a little bit of darkness. Also, I am having a little bit of a rosacea flare up right now in terms of like texture popping out, so that's why my skin looks a little bit more texturized, as you guys can see. But I like the fact that the product doesn't feel like heavy, thick powder that I feel like we've been used to. So I definitely do feel like the brush gives you a more lightweight, sheer type of coverage. Like it covers the bare minimum what it needs to cover. If you have more so of evened out skin, I would definitely say a brush will be enough. Like it'll be good and then you won't have to worry about anything. If you want to cover more, I will say use a sponge. Make sure your sponge isn't too wet, because if your sponge is too wet, it can definitely cause the product to shear out, or just kind of mess the consistency of the powder that's already in the pan. So I would just be very lightweight with it. But I definitely do think it's a pretty product, and you guys can see that on its own, it can stand without having to apply liquid foundation underneath. It's definitely giving me like I just went to the beach and got a tan vibe. I also feel like there's a little bit of shimmer in this product because I'm seeing like a radiance. Do you guys see that radiance? And when I go up close, I kind of see a little bit of like glitter or like shimmer. Okay, so you guys can see how this looks like. I would have to say that for me, I kind of like it better with the brush. I feel like with a brush, it kind of like distributes it out more evenly. I feel like with the sponge, wherever you do choose to kind of like swipe it down, I'm noticing that there is like kind of like a, do you guys see how it's a little bit darker here than everywhere else? Like, I don't know, I feel like the product kind of got stuck there. Let me go ahead and kind of see if it transfers, because it doesn't transfer. So I'm gonna take this paper towel here. It doesn't transfer that bad, which is good. You guys can see that? So you guys can see I'm not BSing. So you guys can see it doesn't really transfer, so that's good. So I'm quickly going to just finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my first initial thoughts on the product. Okay guys, so I am finished getting ready, and I wanna show you guys how this looks. The powder is definitely a very beautiful finish, like formula wise. I really like how it really kind of sinks into the skin and becomes one with the skin. I think that is definitely very unique, because I feel like a lot of powders can just kind of lay on top. I definitely do feel like it kind of runs a little bit on the more like, I want to say like warm tone. So that's why I do feel like certain areas kind of pick up a little bit more warmer. So what I honestly did have to end up doing, because I feel like I needed to neutralize this color, is I went in with my Kosas concealer right here and right here to kind of add a little bit more of like some brightness, just a very little bit, and just blended it out, and it worked fine. And I was actually impressed with the fact that the powder works really well with putting on like some liquid product on top, because typically powders don't do well with that, which is why it's always recommended to apply your concealer first and then the powder foundation. But it looks pretty good now. I feel like it definitely helped kind of neutralize those tones. I was also very impressed with the fact that it didn't transfer, because you guys saw that I showed you guys that it didn't transfer on this side. Like we didn't have much issues with that, which is very important, especially with people worrying about that a lot. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna carry on with the rest of my day. Right now it is 9:30 a.m. and I'm going to do a natural lighting clip so you guys can see how this looks with the natural lighting. And then you guys will see me at the end of the day to give you guys my final thoughts on whether I think this new Glowish powder is worth the buy or not. So definitely stay tuned to find out my full in-depth thoughts. Okay guys, so I am back right now. It is 5:30 p.m. I wore this powder the entire day, and I wanted to give you guys my final thoughts. So this is what we're looking like after a long day. Honestly guys, I feel like it definitely oxidized through the day. It's honestly giving me like orangey vibes on my complexion. I did talk about this a lot as we were doing the review, and I just feel like with this, you really have to go like 2 shades down for it to like really fit. So I feel like I would probably have to go for a shade 4 instead of the shade 5. And I did go from shade 6 to a shade 5 thinking that this would probably suit me better. And it didn't look bad, but I feel like now by the end of the day, it definitely oxidized even more, because it's kind of giving my skin like this red tint to it. So that's the one thing that for me is a complete no-go, because I feel like the powder, like as a formula, is really nice. Like it's very skin-like, but I think what's really throwing me off is the fact that this does really oxidize on me. For me, in my opinion, is not the best. I would love to see more shades, maybe more undertones, because I do feel like a lot of these colors lean more to like warm tones. So I feel like For the formula, I really like. I also really like the fact that you're able to use this with a damp sponge. I feel like it makes it a little bit more innovative than like a regular powder. I think the type of people that are gonna like this formula are definitely people that do have that normal to dry skin, because this does give you a glow, a radiance, and a little bit of that like shimmery consistency in there. So I feel like if you're looking for something to make your skin look more vibrant and just radiant, and you have dry skin, I think you're going to really enjoy this. I think if you're somebody that you have oily skin, I don't think this is gonna be the product for you. I definitely would recommend, if you are planning on purchasing this, I would say go in store to Sephora and have them shade match you so that you don't have to go back and get a different shade. Also, I would say that if you do get shade match, it's better, because then you have the right shade and you know, you can decide if it's for you or not. But I would definitely recommend shade matching yourself just to make sure that it's correct. I know online it can be very tricky, so that's why I say go in store and have them help you find your right shade. So those are pretty much all my thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this product. Have you purchased it? Have you tried it? I wanna know all the tea, so let me know down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Let's me know to continue doing these type of videos for you guys. Don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. And I'll be seeing you guys very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.